Max's father died when he was in primary school. He says at the time he felt lost and didn't know how to deal with it. Now 14, he was invited to speak to 2 government ministers about his experience of mental health and what he wants changed.
I think it would be easier if there was just a person that everyone knew about, that we could just all go to and talk about how we feel, because there's a lot of pressure on people from their families often, like especially me, to talk about issues that I might face.
The government's announced that schools and colleges in 25 areas in England will join a pilot scheme, each with a dedicated mental health team. Each team will support up to 8,000 students. That's 20 schools and colleges per team. Together, the pilot scheme will cover almost 500,000 pupils.
There's an increase in prevalence of mental illness, both at the lower end of anxiety all the way through to much more serious mental illness. And we want to make sure that isn't just treated when it reaches crisis point, but rather that people get the support at the start to try to prevent the crisis.
Ruby is taking her GCSEs. She's 15 and says she has lapses in her own mental health. She thinks children should be taught how to support other people.
For example, in my family, I have a whole wealth of mental disorders that you have to learn how to deal with certain people, and again with my friends, you have to learn how to help people and how to treat them as human beings. So,
the first mental health support teams should be in place by the end of 2019, but it will be many years after that before the whole country gets them.
We can't afford to wait for all those years to improve the services, because 3/4 of later mental illness starts in this age group, and there's almost an epidemic of children, particularly young girls between the age of 17 to 19, who are suffering.
There is also a longer-term plan to teach health education as a compulsory subject, aiming to equip children, where possible, to protect their own mental health. Toby Sadler, 5 News.